Stats show fewer people are drinking and driving in Lubbock, so drivers should feel safer on the road. But a new highway hazard is on the rise. Why distracted driving poses safety risks straight ahead.
Plus, our local food bank is already preparing for the holiday season. We get a behind-the-scenes look at what it takes to feed the South Plains.
And later, tech students are feverish for the paranormal. Red Raiders have been bitten by a game that drops humans in a post-zombie-apocalypse world.
From the College of Mass Communications on the campus of Texas Tech University, this is the MCTV Weekday Update.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of your MCTV Weekday Update. I'm Ashley Lyles.
And I'm Katie Stephens. We know drinking and driving is harmful, not to mention illegal. Just as dangerous, distracted driving. Lisa Bruskus introduces us to a student who has learned firsthand that texting while driving is dangerous driving.
These Texas Tech students weren't just enjoying a fun and friendly video game. They were trying out a distracted driving simulator hosted by the Arrive Alive Tour on November 7th. Students were able to choose between texting and driving or drunk driving as their form of distraction behind the wheel. Senior broadcast journalism major Jordan Anders tried her hand at texting and driving.
So that was kind of like a driving video game that I'm already bad at, and then I had a phone that I didn't know how to operate in my hand, so it was a lot more difficult than I thought it would be.
Although all smiles during the test, Anders realizes the seriousness of the matter.
I think efforts like this to get the word out there is really important and will help to make an impact with students and maybe change their outlook on texting and driving. But I don't think this alone is going to make as big of an impact as needs to be made.
2 years ago, pre-med student Sarah Herron was T-boned on the corner of University.
Completely blacked out. And after that, my friend had to go to the hospital because he had hurt his top of his spine. And a month and a half later or so, I realized that I was hurt.
Herron talked about the lasting impact the accident has had on her life.
I mean, after having a wreck like that major, I was still really nervous to drive, and it'll be 2 years next month, and I still think about it all the time.
Corporal John Gonzalez of the Texas Department of Public Safety gave a distracted driving presentation and warned students of the dangers of texting and driving.
If your mind is already thinking about a cell phone, and as easily as you turned yourself off to driving, just imagine what's going to happen in those few seconds that you don't even realize. And you're probably going to say, I don't remember anything. I don't know what happened, because you didn't see it. So it only takes a few seconds for it to happen.
Sadly so, car accidents aren't the only result of distracted driving. Corporal Gonzalez spoke of the heartbreaking damage he has seen.
He was the driver, and he lost control of the vehicle and killed his wife and the child. So unfortunately, because of that one action, this distraction of the cell phone use, that was awful, because now he has to live with that for the rest of his life.
25% of all car crashes are caused by texting and driving. So think twice before you answer a text behind the wheel.
According to the government website for distracted driving, texting and driving delays a driver's reactions as much as having a blood alcohol level of 0.08%. For MCTV, I'm Lisa Bruskus.
Over 13,000 women in Texas will be diagnosed with breast cancer this year. It's the most common cancer among women in Texas. I spoke with Joan O'Brien about her battle.
Joan O'Brien is a biker chick and a fighter who wears pink in honor of women like herself who have fought the battle of breast cancer. A survivin' sister is what she calls herself and those around her who have suffered from the disease.
Dr. Arndt said I had invasive ductal carcinoma. Well, I didn't hear the word cancer, so I'm thinking, okay.
O'Brien went to Dr. Candy Arntz, the executive director at UMC's Breast Care Center, for testing in May 2010.
If we diagnose it early, it doesn't really affect how long you live. And so that's why it's so important for women to get screened starting at 40 and then get screened every year with their mammograms.
She remained in denial until she heard the possibility that it could spread.
And when she said that, it hit me. They have to check and see if it's spread. Then I thought, they're talking about cancer. And cancer may have spread to my body, to other parts of my body, but I feel fine.
But after several rounds of tests, the cancer had not spread. But the doctors had some bad news for O'Brien.
They said, you can't ride your motorcycle.
In May of 2011, O'Brien celebrated 1 year of being cancer-free by riding her 1997 Harley-Davidson motorcycle named Princess in the best ride ever.
It was 43 women from Oklahoma and Texas. We rode from Oklahoma, Texas, and New Mexico. I put over 2,300 miles on my motorcycle, and I was the only survivor among those 43 women.
O'Brien became overwhelmed with emotion when the group visited a woman in the hospital who had just been diagnosed with breast cancer.
I gave it to her and I said, my fight's over with. Now your fight begins and you can have this scarf.
O'Brien says she hopes to be a source of inspiration to those who are still fighting the disease.
To show other people that they can make it through it and come out as beautiful as I am.
O'Brien reminds those around her that there is life after breast cancer, as her laughter and uplifting spirit shines a pink light on the continued hope for a cure. I'm Katie Stephens for MCTV. Back to you.
More than 300 children are waiting, hoping to be adopted here in Lubbock. Our Ray Patterson introduces us to a local couple thinking about taking that loving step.
Growing up, we have all heard the saying, home is where the heart is. But for many children, there is no home. They ask, why not me? Lubbock residents Cody and Tawny Lacey have taken this question into consideration and have decided to do something about it.
So we decided to sponsor 2 boys because we wanted to try to give them a sense of a family and having a home.
After interning with the home, Lacey realized not only is sponsoring a good way to give back to your community, but it's a great opportunity to give a child hope.
These kids don't have anybody to turn to, as in their parents, because they were just taken from their family. And so I found out that I could be a stable relationship for them and that they can actually learn to trust people.
November is National Adoption Awareness Month, and although the Laceys are not adopting just yet, they do realize the impact that a loving family can have on foster kids.
This month, the Why Not Me campaign focuses on children without a home. And according to the Department of Family and Protective Services, over 6,000 children in Texas are still waiting to be adopted. 337 here in Lubbock. The Lacey supervisor, Danny Pechtel, says anyone who is committed can sponsor or adopt.
One of the things that we require of our sponsors is a commitment level from them, because what we don't want is put somebody in a kid's life and then they, do this for a little bit and then they get bored and they do something else.
Pechtel also says before anyone can sponsor, they must pass an extensive background check.
I want to know that they're safe people. I want to know that they're going to be good for my kid. So there's an interview process, there's a background checking process, we do references. It's really, really a kind of involved process.
The Laceys believe that everyone has a chance in accomplishing something great in life, if given the opportunity.
So, to go to the movies with the family or go out to eat with the family, and I feel like we can provide that, and we can give them that love and that hope that there's a future, beyond just living in a foster home or in a home.
Reporting for MCTV News, I'm Ray Patterson.
The South Plains Food Bank has been serving people from near Sweetwater all the way over to New Mexico state line for almost 30 years. But every year the holidays gets a lot busier. Brittany Escobar takes us behind the scenes of the food bank through the eyes of the woman who runs it.
This year we are just struggling so much with the need for food. Our increase has just grown so much anyway. But at the holiday season, we just want to make sure those that really are in need get whatever we can provide for them. We distributed last year 8.5 million pounds of food. We give out about 700 food boxes a month. We hope to furnish 6 million meals a year to families in need. Last year we provided food for 84,000 individual people. The holiday season is just an extra special time of the year for us because we want to make sure all of our families that are struggling have a great holiday season.
A viral outbreak hit campus the first week of November. Sophia Hallbrook shows us how fun it can be to get bitten.
You may be wondering what's up with all the green bandanas, Nerf guns, and random attacks that have been taking place on campus lately. To answer your question, around 600 students are participating in a week-long game of human versus zombies on Texas Tech campus.
It's an apocalypse.
Out of the 592 students that started playing humans versus zombies on Tech's campus, there are 10 original zombies roaming around Texas Tech University. The original zombies are unidentifiable and start attacking humans in the game, which creates a domino effect. Chris Rittenauer, a sophomore business major at Tech, says it's his second time playing HVZ. Although he's still trying to keep safe from zombie attacks, Rittenauer admits there's advantages to transforming into a zombie.
I really like being a zombie. I was a zombie last semester. I really like running around chasing people and hiding, ambushing people, stuff like that.
The safe zones in the game for humans are within 15 feet of any doorway on campus, and the game stops completely when inside a building. Bandanas are used to identify players in the game.
A green bandana wrapped around the forehead represents a zombie in the game. A green bandana wrapped around the arm and carrying a Nerf gun represents a human trying to survive in a world being taken over by mutant zombies.
Josh Kendall, a student at Tech, said he was disappointed about being bitten by a zombie on the first day of the game.
There was a zombie that was in front of us, and he was looking at us, like giving us the eye all crazy, and then next thing you know, somebody comes up behind us and gets us.
John Perez, a freshman at a Lubbock high school, said he decided to join in on the HVZ action. Perez is still a human in the game, and he explained which zombie hordes he's looking out for.
Two groups, actually. There's Hive Mind and there's Darth. Both of them are really big, but I think Darth is the most feared one because of their tactics.
You can log on to www.hvzsource.com to find out more information about the zombie game that's taking over many countries. This fall marks the third year in a row Tech has hosted a game of HVZ. For MCTV News, I'm Sophia Hallbrook.
Hey, guys, move! No!
Now, Ashley, what would you do if you were stuck in the zompocalypse?
I really couldn't tell you, Katie, because I'd probably just watch the Zombie Land movie and see if I could get some pointers from there. That's all the time we have for today. Thanks for watching our MCTV Weekday Update. I'm Ashley Lyles.
And I'm Katie Stephens. We hope you have a great week.